welcome to FilmCrunch. I'm Veronica Santiago.
And I'm Neil Estep, and in this episode we will be reviewing the theatrical release of Blades of Glory. Blades of Glory is directed by Josh Gordon and Will Speck, and stars Jon Heder and Will Ferrell. When two rival men's figure skaters tie for the gold in a big championship competition, they get in a big fight on the ice, and they end up being stripped of their medals and banned from their division for life. And after a few years go by and both of them are stuck in dead-end jobs, they decide to pull together their strengths and compete as male partners in partners figure skating, all the while trying not to kill themselves because they hate each other, right? Kill themselves or each other. And Veronica, what did you think of Blades of Glory?
You know, this is probably one of the easiest reviews we've probably done in a while, because really what it comes down to is that this movie is what it is. It's another Will Ferrell sports movie. Now, whether you consider that good or bad is entirely up to you and how you feel about his previous sports movies, but you pretty much get what you probably expect. If you're going to this movie, you know already what to expect. I mean, first of all, we're not expecting a quality script by any means, and nor are we expecting stellar acting, especially by Jon Heder. It's pretty much just like every other sports movie that Will Ferrell has done before, you know.
Well, but not even just sports, though. I mean, Anchorman
it's
very much just a Will Ferrell movie.
But how many sports, he's done, Talladega Nights, he's done Kicking and Screaming, and he also has like a Semi-Pro, I believe is the next movie he's got coming out about a basketball team. So, it's just like he's got the market corner, just like Adam Sandler movies.
Right.
And, you go in pretty much getting what you paid for.
It's very formulaic. Yeah. It has the same formula. Someone who is at the top of their game, falling down to the bottom and having to pull themselves back up again. And, I mean, you're exactly right. It's exactly what you would come to expect. The reason that I actually enjoyed this movie more than Talladega Nights or Anchorman or some other Will Ferrell movies is because I think he shares the spotlight so much with Jon Heder that he doesn't have as much time to riff, and it's the overabundance of improvisation that gets to me after a while with Will Ferrell.
But in Talladega Nights, he did have to share his storyline with,
a little,
and I just blanked on his friend's name. But
Charles Riley.
John C. Riley.
John C. Riley. Yeah. but he still is the main character. I mean, even though John C. Reilly is here and there, he is the focus of the movie. So he does have to carry a lot of scenes.
Yes.
And even though it's subtle, I mean, he still is a very central character in this film. He gets to share a lot of the screen time with Jon Heder. And I think for me, I love Will Ferrell. I think he is a brilliant comedian. I think he is wonderful improv. I mean, he's probably, between he and Steve Carell, I think that they've probably got the market cornered on improv in movies. I mean, I just love to watch them. But after a while, it gets a little bit obnoxious, and I just wish sometimes that someone would hand Will Ferrell a script and say, just read it. You know what I mean?
But, you say that he splits the time with Jon Heder, which is great, but having said that, I could probably have done without many of the Jon Heder scenes, because the love story in this was really kind of lame.
Yes, it was.
I mean, what was that other movie we saw with John? Oh, School Scandals.
Scandals,
yeah.
He's not a good actor.
He's not a romantic lead by any means.
No, but like you said, you know what you're going into.
I know what I'm going into, so I'm overanalyzing it, but it was really kind of cheesy how they just kind of got together.
Yeah.
But there is going to be a point where Will Ferrell can no longer do sports movies. I do believe that point will be coming, because how many times can we see the same things over again?
How many sports are there?
Yeah, but having said that, figure skating was a very good sport to make fun of, because the sport itself lends itself to being ridiculed, because we've got the costumes, we've got the partners, and we've got the ridiculous personalities.
Right.
And so that was probably a very good sport for them to pick, because they had a lot of stuff to play with.
Right. And not only that, but you get to have Will Ferrell, and you have two of the most funny elements in movies nowadays, which is kind of an overweight man in clothes that don't fit, or like in even worse in this case, glittery
he can never have
clothes.
been a skater.
No, definitely not.
With that body, no.
And then you also have this sort of uncomfortable, like homoerotic type of situation where two men have to be touching and be
Yes.
very intimate. And of course, those two elements put together
Yeah.
are going to be just phenomenally comedic and funny. So.
And there's some great cameos by real life skaters in this movie, which
yeah.
there might have been cameos in the Talladega Nights, and I have no idea the celebrities of NASCAR. But in this particular movie, I think most people know the celebrities of ice skating. So that was great. But the funny thing is that how many movies can Will Ferrell do where at some point in time he has some drunken breakdown? And then,
No, you're right.
is there a character he's ever played where he's not sexually crazed? That's all I've asked. Not
Well,
that that's
he's-
bad, because obviously people like it.
But he's a degenerate.
But-
I mean, that's just Will Ferrell. People want to see him, hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And rock bottom is overweight and unshaven and
sex
drunk
crazed.
and sex crazed. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I mean, the great and another great thing that I love about this movie is, unlike Talladega Nights or other sports movies or other movies of this kind, the choreography and the fun of getting to see, even though you can tell it's not their face
yeah.
many times, it was really fun to watch these very well choreographed and well conceived.
Oh well,
But I mean,
there
for
are some
comedy,
original ideas.
for comedy,
yeah, for comedy,
you know what I
yes,
mean?
Yes,
And I
and
mean,
Will
hilarious.
Arnett and Amy Poehler, their costumes
Are great.
were awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Other great cameos too. William Fichtner,
Mm-hmm.
who's also in 24. By the way, I'm obsessed with him. I love him.
William Fichtner?
Yeah, I am. I don't know what it is. He is just a great badass in every single movie he's in. Well, and I just completely forgot what I was going to
Nick
say.
Swardson? Oh, I don't know. Who are you
No,
gonna-
Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, yeah, Craig T. Nelson, of course.
Yeah,
Coach.
he's great too. Yeah, Coach. But no, the sport it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But I must say, I was very upset that their final move was basically kind of rip off of the Cutting Edge, which I love the Cutting Edge.
Well,
It was like the Pachinko. I think that's the name of it, the Pachinko. But anyway, I just had to say that.
Well, get over it. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I love that last move. It was like the build-up
But
to
it was
this
a
last thing.
complete rip-off.
And then the absurd, like them flying into space.
We need to compare
oh,
the two
God,
moves. We need
it's
to compare the
beautiful.
two moves because they both involve swinging the legs and swinging them high up in the air and
Yeah.
throwing them. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
But
Did
one's
you see
not
the
funny.
Cutting Edge?
No.
Well, see, then you have no idea what I'm talking
No,
about.
I
The
don't,
Cutting Edge
but-
is like a cult, like 90s skating movie. That was awesome.
Well, then it seems only logical that they would steal it from.
Yes, but it's just sad because it makes it
Impossible
look
move.
like they came up with this idea themselves, and it was not.
They're
an
not
original
claiming
move.
anything like that. Where are you
I-
getting that?
But because the people who watch this movie are probably not the same people who watch The Cutting Edge like I did, and they'll never know that move ever existed. So that's have to
Maybe
say.
you're
I just
right.
have to say that.
Okay,
Shout
you
out
said
to
it.
every other, girl movie fan
I'd
like
like-
me.
I'd like to give a shout out as well to Jenna Fisher.
Oh,
She looks
I kn-
beautiful
How
in
did
this
I know
movie.
you were going to say that?
She's like so well endowed. You never would know from The Office. I mean, she's like gorgeous.
Okay, well, first of all, they do have things to make you look well endowed too. So
Okay.
not to say that she isn't, but at the same time, you can't assume that's all her.
But I like to think that I can tell when it's real and when it's not real. And I think in this
I
case,
think that's another discussion altogether.
I'm just saying, if I wasn't,
I think more
You
men are
were what?
deceived by
Real?
things that are real than they like to believe or like to.
anyway, she
admit
looked great.
to.
She looked great.
No, she did look great. She
Funny
did look
movie.
great.
It was a fluff. It was
It
a
was a
fluff
fluff. It
movie.
was fluff.
It was fluff.
Yeah.
And, it's just like any other Will Ferrell movie. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
No, it was great. Great cameos, characters all around.
Yeah.
Definitely should watch. I think I'm gonna give Sherry a call and say, just really.
Hey, Sherry
know
was the
it's
one who
real?
turned to me and she was like, "Wow, Jenna Fisher, she was looking hot." I was like, "Oh, beautiful."
What's the guy's name? Something Fichtner? What a
William
horrible
Fichtner.
name. No.
His
It'd be
middle
great if
initial
his
is
name
S.
was like James
William S. Fichtner.
Fichtner.